There are bad neighbors, and then there are monsters disguised as HOA presidents. Karen chained my heart-patient daughter to our porch, literally clipped her backpack to a railing because she thought she was loitering. What she didn't know: I'm not just her father. I'm the police chief. My daughter, Lily, is 12. Tiny. Gentle. Soft-spoken. A heart condition has slowed her body, but never her spirit. She spends mornings on our front porch sketching birds. Doctor's orders say she needs sunlight and calm. That morning was perfect. Breezy. Quiet. Lily sat with her sketchbook open, pencil tapping rhythmically as she studied a blue jay on the fence. She hummed softly, something she does only when she feels safe. I was halfway through brewing coffee when the humming stopped. Then came a voice cold enough to ice over summer. You don't get to sit out here. I stepped toward the window. Karen. HOA president. Neighborhood tyrant. A self-declared protector of community aesthetics. She walked toward my porch wearing oversized sunglasses, clipboard in one hand, phone in the other. Lily shrank back in her wheelchair. I live here, Lily whispered. Karen scoffed. You're blocking the walkway with your medical equipment. I clenched my jaw. Wheelchair? Medical equipment? Blocking a walkway? The porch was our property. Karen leaned in closer. You're supposed to be inside. HOA rules state minors cannot linger on visible home fronts without supervision. Lily whispered, my dad is inside. Karen snapped, not good enough. And then she reached into her bag, pulled out a thin decorative chain, the type used for hanging plants, and clipped one end to the porch railing. Before Lily could react, Karen clipped the other end to the loop on Lily's backpack. Not hurting her. Not violent. But trapping her. Restricting her movement. And preventing her from reaching her medication inside. Lily's eyes widened. Please, don't, my heart. Karen smirked. HOA rules apply to everyone. Even sick kids. I stepped outside just as she turned away. Karen. She froze. I looked at the chain. Then at her. Her smirk grew. Finally. Someone responsible is here. I walked past her without speaking, kneeling beside Lily. I unclipped the chain gently, feeling her trembling hands. You okay, sweetheart? I asked. She nodded weakly, but her pulse was racing too fast. I stood slowly. Karen raised her chin proudly. You can't let your child violate HOA policies. She was obstructing the. No, I said quietly. You violated the law. She rolled her eyes. Oh, please. What law? I leaned forward. Unlawful restraint. Her mouth fell open. You can't be serious, she stuttered. I walked closer, lowering my voice. Karen, do you have any idea who you just chained? She scoffed. A spoiled girl who needs to follow rules. Wrong answer. Try again. She laughed. Who is she then? I stepped fully into the sunlight. I'm the police chief. And she's my daughter. Karen's sunglasses slipped down her nose. And the color drained from her face. Karen's bravado cracked, but only for a moment. You're lying, she said, fake confidence creeping back. I pulled out my badge. Dead silence. Her hands trembled so slightly she tried to hide it behind her clipboard. I pointed to the chain. You restrained a minor without cause. That alone could place you under arrest. Karen gulped. But I was enforcing HOA regulations. You enforced nothing, I said. You detained a medically fragile child. She opened her mouth to defend herself, but I raised a finger. I'm giving you one chance. Walk away. Don't speak to my daughter again. Don't come onto my porch again. And don't even think about touching anything on my property. Lily clutched my sleeve. Karen exhaled loudly. You can't threaten me. I'll take this to the HOA board. You're abusing power. I stepped forward. Calm. Controlled. Chief mode. Karen, you chained a heart-patient child. You didn't just break HOA rules. You committed a crime. Her lips quivered. Then, she smirked. The worst kind of smirk. I'm going to have you removed from this neighborhood. I blinked slowly. Excuse me? She pointed her clipboard like a weapon. You won't intimidate me, Chief. I'll file complaints. I'll get signatures. I'll go to the county. I'll have you fired. Threats. Clearly she had no clue what line she had crossed. I leaned down beside Lily. Go inside, sweetheart. She nodded, wheeled herself inside, and shut the door. I turned back to Karen. You're done. Karen's eyes narrowed. We'll see who's done. She stormed down the walkway. I watched her leave, expression blank. Because I knew something she didn't. She had just started a war she couldn't win. A war against a father. A war against a chief. And a war against the law itself. I thought Karen would crawl back into whatever entitled cave she came from. I was wrong. Before noon, 3 HOA board members marched toward my house carrying a packet of papers thicker than a phone book. Karen strutted behind them, sunglasses back on, acting like she'd won something. She pointed at my house dramatically. There he is. The chief who thinks he's above the rules. One board member, Tom, a nervous man in a polo shirt, cleared his throat. Sir, we've received multiple complaints. Complaints about what? I asked. Tom flipped through his papers. Your daughter obstructing community walkways, disrupting neighborhood harmony, and creating an unsafe environment. I blinked. She was sketching birds. Karen scoffed. On a visible porch. During quiet hours. It was 10 a.m. And your porch is too decorated. It violates Aesthetic Uniformity Rule 9b. My fists clenched, but I stayed calm. Tom lifted the last paper. We're issuing a formal notice. If you refuse to comply, we can begin removal proceedings for community protection. Removal proceedings? For sketching? I took the packet, flipped through the pages, and recognized something immediately. None of the signatures were real. All forged. Badly. Karen must have copied them from her old HOA forms. I looked at her. You forged signatures. She smirked. Prove it. I reached into my pocket and pulled out my phone. Gladly. One tap. Live bodycam footage from my porch played, caught from my front security system. Karen chaining my daughter. Her admitting it. Her threats. Her forging documents. The board members' eyes widened. Tom whispered, Karen, what did you do? Karen stepped back. No, no. He's manipulating the footage. I lowered the phone. Karen, you chained a child. A medically fragile one. I should have arrested you the moment I saw it. She pointed at me, voice cracking, you can't touch me. I run this neighborhood. I smiled slightly. No. You ran this neighborhood. And that's when the police cars rolled in. 3 of them. Karen's jaw dropped. What, why, who called? I did, I said calmly. Just in case. The officers approached, recognizing me instantly. Chief Hayes, Sergeant Lopez said, we got your message. What's going on? I pointed to Karen. She unlawfully restrained my daughter. She forged HOA documents. And she's attempting to intimidate law enforcement. Karen looked at Lopez pleadingly. No, no. He's lying. He's abusing his power. Lopez raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, the chief doesn't lie. Karen laughed hysterically. A breaking laugh. You can't arrest me. I'm the HOA president. I stepped closer. HOA authority doesn't override state law. Or county law. Or federal law. She stumbled backward, tripping over her own clipboard. Lopez pulled out handcuffs. Ma'am, please turn around. Karen screamed. No. He's setting me up. He let his daughter squat on the porch. I was just doing my job. My eyes narrowed. Your job is not chaining children to railings. Her voice cracked. She looked suspicious. She's 12. Karen screamed again. No. This is a power move. He wants to ruin me. Lopez finally took her arms. You ruined yourself. As they cuffed her, she writhed like someone dragged from a stage. You'll all regret this. The HOA will crush you. Then I said the calmest words of my career. Karen, the HOA is finished. Her face collapsed. But the day wasn't over. Because behind the police cars, a black SUV pulled in. Not local police. Not state. Federal. Karen's voice dropped into a whisper. Who is that? I didn't answer. Because I recognized the plates. Internal affairs. This wasn't just about her anymore. This was bigger. Much bigger. The SUV door opened and out stepped Deputy Director Rowan, one of the highest-ranking internal investigators on the West Coast. Karen's face drained of all color. Rowan approached me. Chief Hayes, we received your emergency report. Karen gasped. You reported him? But I'm the victim. I'm the community leader. He's abusing power. Rowan turned to her slowly. You chained a minor to a railing. Her mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. That chain wasn't even heavy. It doesn't matter. He motioned to the officers. Take her into federal custody. Pending child endangerment review. Karen shrieked like a boiling kettle. No. No. Not federal. Please. I'll do anything. Fire him instead. Rowan turned to me. Chief, do you want to press personal charges as the parent? I looked at Lily's window. Her face barely peeking through the curtains. I do. Rowan nodded. It's done. Karen collapsed to her knees. You ruined me, she whispered. I corrected her. No. You did. They escorted her to the SUV. Karen kept looking back as if the world was ending. For her, it was. But Rowan wasn't finished. He turned to me. She's not acting alone. HOA corruption here is worse than we thought. I nodded. I know. He tilted his head. You ready to take down the entire board? I stared at the forged papers still in my hand. Yes, I said. Let's finish this. The HOA called an emergency neighborhood meeting that evening. They expected panic. They didn't expect me. I arrived with Rowan, Sergeant Lopez, 2 detectives, and a flood of angry neighbors. The board sat nervously at a long folding table. Tom stood up first, voice shaking. We didn't know Karen was doing all that. Rowan raised a finger. Sit. He dropped a folder on the table. Forgery. Fraud. Illegal enforcement. Unlawful restraint. Abuse of power. We have evidence of all of it. The room erupted. Neighbors yelling. Board members sweating. A woman shouted, Karen fined my son for wearing bright shoes. Another yelled, she threatened to tow my car while I was in it. A man added, she recorded my kids playing. Tom whispered, we were scared of her. I stepped forward. You let a bully run your lives. And now she's in federal custody. The room fell silent. Tom swallowed. What happens now? Rowan looked at me. I nodded. The HOA is dissolved. Effective immediately. Gasps. Sighs of relief. Cheering. Some even cried. But Rowan wasn't finished. We're installing a temporary oversight committee while we investigate every fine, every threat, and every illegal action Karen forced on this neighborhood. Then he motioned to me. And Chief Hayes will supervise the interim team. Karen's old board stared as if the world had flipped. I turned to the room. This neighborhood belongs to the families. Not to bullies. Not to abusers. And definitely not to anyone who chains children. The entire room stood. Clapping. Cheering. Thanking Lily. Thanking me. For the first time. The neighborhood was free. The night after the HOA dissolved, the neighborhood finally breathed. No angry emails. No threats. No bogus fines. No clipboards tapping across driveways. Just silence. The good kind. I sat with Lily on the porch, her safe place again, under the warm glow of the string lights overhead. She leaned against me, sketchbook in her lap. Dad, she whispered. Yeah, sweetheart? Did I do something wrong? That question nearly broke me. I cupped her cheek gently. No. Karen did something wrong. And we fixed it. Lily looked at the railing, the same spot Karen had clipped her to. Why did she do it? Because some people think authority gives them the right to hurt others. Lily nodded quietly. That's sad. It is. She opened her sketchbook again. This time she wasn't sketching birds. She was drawing me. Standing in front of her. Protecting her. Badge shining. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Is that how you see me? I asked softly. She nodded. You're my hero. I kissed the top of her head. But before the moment could settle, headlights approached. A familiar gray sedan. Rowan stepped out. Chief, he said. We need to talk. I sighed. Of course. It wasn't over. He handed me a file. Karen had made a secret last move, one final card she had played before being arrested. I opened the file. And my blood ran cold. Before dealing with the file, Rowan insisted we walk the neighborhood. He wanted me to see something. House after house, people came out. A mother with a toddler. Chief, thank you. She fined me $200 because my stroller was too bright. An elderly man. She tried to evict me over my wind chimes. A teenage boy. She threatened to suspend my bus stop. Every story worse than the last. Lily held my hand tighter each time. Then, the unexpected happened. The timid board member, Tom, approached with his wife. He looked ashamed. Chief Hayes, we're sorry. All of us. We should have stopped her. I nodded. Fear makes people silent. But silence creates monsters. Tom whispered. She said you were abusing power. She said your daughter was faking her condition. She said you were planning to sue all of us. I clenched my jaw. Karen never wanted community. She wanted control. Tom sighed. We want to help make things right. Then start by helping each other, I told him. He nodded firmly. We will. By the time we reached the end of the street, dozens of people had stepped out. Some thanked me. Some apologized. Some cried. Lily looked up at me. Dad, they're good people. Yeah, I said. They finally get to be. Rowan cleared his throat. Chief, about that file. My stomach tightened. What's in it? He handed it to me again. Karen wasn't working alone. I opened the folder. Inside was a photo of a man. With a name. Samuel Crane, HOA Regional Director. And a handwritten note from Karen. If I go down, make them all pay. Lily whispered, Dad, is he coming? I exhaled slowly. Yes. Samuel Crane was worse than Karen. He was the architect of every abusive HOA in our county, weaponizing fines, silencing dissent, manipulating vulnerable families. And now, he had his eyes on me. The next morning, as I drove Lily to her medical checkup, a black luxury car followed us. Crane stepped out wearing a perfect suit, fake smile plastered across his face. Chief Hayes, he said politely. I heard you caused quite a stir. I stood between him and Lily. What do you want? Oh, just a conversation. See, Karen may have been extreme. But she understood structure. Order. Rules. I replied, she chained a child. He waved a hand casually. Children exaggerate. I stepped toward him. He stepped back. You will never speak about my daughter again, I said through clenched teeth. Crane's smile thinned. You made an enemy of the organization, Chief. And unlike Karen, I'm not impulsive. I'm strategic. He leaned closer. You think dissolving one HOA saves your neighborhood? I control 23 communities. I can surround you with rules you've never heard of. I laughed once. Short. Sharp. You think I'm scared of paperwork? Crane's smile dropped. You will be. He turned and walked away. But as he reached his car, a second vehicle pulled up Rowan's. Crane froze. Mr. Crane, Rowan said sternly. You're under investigation for racketeering, coercion, and organized HOA fraud. Crane's eyes flared. You can't arrest me. I already did, Rowan replied. 2 federal agents stepped out and cuffed him. Crane glared at me. This isn't over. I stepped closer until we were face to face. It is. Because you messed with the wrong father. Lily whispered from behind me. And the wrong chief. Crane was shoved into the car. The threat was gone. For good. A week later, the sun set over a peaceful, quiet street. Kids laughed. Neighbors smiled at one another. No fines. No threats. No clipboards. Lily and I sat on the porch, her safe spot. Dad, she asked softly. Yeah? Do you think Karen will come back? No, I said. People who hurt others never win in the end. She nodded, leaning her head on my arm. Dad, am I really safe now? I kissed her forehead. You're safe because I'll always show up. She smiled and held up a new drawing. It was us. Holding hands. Standing tall. With a caption she wrote. My dad always comes back. I swallowed hard. You drew this for me? No, she said. I drew it for everyone. What do you mean? She pointed to the neighborhood. So they remember to protect each other too. I lifted her into my arms and hugged her tight. Lily, you're stronger than all of them. Because of you, she whispered. The porch light flickered softly. Wind rustled the leaves. Peace settled. And for the first time since the day Karen chained her, my daughter felt free. As long as I breathed, she always would.